Hey everybody, in this video we're going to take a look at how we can animate our cloner along a spline path. Let's get started at a point where we ended in a previous tutorial. Here's where we essentially left off after previous tutorials. We have two different cloners emitting particles and spinning around. In the previous tutorial, we had a shader ball here. I just replaced that with some text. But the other thing that I've done, if I deactivate the game view here, is I've added a spiral spline around this text, and I want at least one of these cloners to follow this path in animation to basically swirl around the text. And so that will be our spline animation. Now, as just a quick note, to create a spline, you can go to the Motion Design toolbar, click on Actors, and then click on the Spline Actor button. Then you can click into your level, and that has the spline created and positioned. If you want to edit this, there are two control points by default, and if I select any one of them, I can then edit that one control point or its tangents just by clicking here and then moving the tangent around. And if I want to add more control points, I just hold the Alt key when I move one of the existing points. So here I clicked on the end point, I hold the Alt key down and click and drag away from that with my Move tool, and now I've created a third point. Again, I can click on either one of these tangent points to adjust the tangent and the direction of the curve, and really that's the process of creating a spline in the first place. All right, I don't need this actor here, so I will delete that. And let's move on to create the animation. So this is actually really easy thanks to the tools in Motion Design. I'll need to activate the operator stack. So here's the button to do that. I keep it docked here next to details. By default, it's up here with the outliners, but I usually drag it down here. And next, I want to just hide. I'm going to work on just one cloner. So I'm going to take this first cloner system and hide that in the outliner. So now I just have the one cloner system. And with this cloner system, if I select the animators, we have these two animators set up from a previous tutorial. The curve is giving us a sine wave up and down, and that gives us our vertical offsets. And then time is spinning it around so that the cloner gives us this orbit. And I don't need either of those now. So let's go ahead and delete those. And that leaves our cloner here. Now what I want to do is start off with this cloner system and the cloner positioned at 0, 0, 0. So the cloner system itself is selected. I'll go to details and position its location at 0, 0, 0. And likewise, the cloner below that will also be positioned at 0, 0, 0. So they're both at the origin now. So the next thing I want to do is attach this to the spline path. And again, I'm going to the operator stack, but instead of animators, I'm going to modifiers because this is a location-based modifier. It's under the modifiers section, and I'll click on add modifiers, and I'll choose spline path. Now I need to select which of the spline actors I want to use. I only have one, so if I click this dropdown, I'll just have the Ava spline actor. And now we can't see the cloner because it is on the path. And we have a variety of sample modes. There's percentage, which is what we'll be using. There's distance, so if you need to move this in a specific number of centimeters, for example. Time is actually similar to the percentage. It's just that this is a 0 to 1 scale instead of 0 to 100%. So if I type in a 0.5 here, this should land, about 50%. Let's try 0.4, so that puts us there. But if I go to percentage, I should be able to type in 40%, and that puts us in the same place. And finally, there's points. So each of the control points on this spline that define its shape has an index starting with 0 at the beginning, so then 1, 2, 3, 4, and so you could see how we're just kind of jumping in between those individual points, which could have its own use cases. But for the purposes of this demo, I'll just stick with percentage. I'll start it at 0. Now, of course, we want to animate along this path, and there's a few different ways to do that. I have my sequencer open here, and so that's one of the easiest ways to animate this. I can select my progress here and click the Add Keyframe button. And now I have a keyframe for this 0 value, and I can go to the end of my animation. In fact, what I'm going to do is bring this down to 150 frames or so, go to the end, and then I'll set this to 100%. And that is automatically keyed because I have auto keying on. And now if I play with my sequencer, this will go ahead and spiral around just along that path. Perfect. And so this is perfect when you want to art direct the motion to be in time with some other action in your sequence. So that's one option, but we can also use the operator stack animators so that we can have this perpetually animating, and we can do that in a number of different ways. I'm going to go ahead and delete this cloner from the timeline, and we still have it in the outliner, of course. So if I select that, we're going to keep this modifier, and we have progress here. So if I want to use the animators, note that if I go to the animators and hit plus, I've got the different types of curves I could do, but when I go to linked properties, well, it's not there, right? So instead, what we'll do is go to the modifiers page right here where we have our progress. We can right click, and here's where we can add one of the modifiers. So I'm going to choose oscillate curve, and I'll choose progress float. And now this oscillation curve is attached to the progress value already. So you can see here's progress float. And right now the amplitude is -1 to 1. I'm going to change this to 0 to 100. And now this is oscillating using a sine wave back and forth. Let's extend this cycle duration. Let's make this like a good 20 seconds. And now we have like this nice gentle path. Maybe I could double that speed by setting this to a 10-second cycling. And because this is a sine wave, our clone goes all the way to the end, and then it comes back based on the acceleration of a sine wave. However, if we want to have this perpetually going from left to right, for example, I can change the loop curve from a sine to a sawtooth. And now let's go ahead and shorten this yet again, 5 seconds. We're going to always climb up from 0 to 100%. And then when we hit 100, we'll start back at 0 again. There are a variety of different curves here. So I can go ahead and say noise high. And now it's just going nuts all over the curve. But I tend to actually like, in this case, the sawtooth here. And I guess linear is probably similar to, notice there's linear here. We can use that. And again, I'll just knock this down to, let's say, 2.5 seconds. And there we go. So here's a variety of ways that you can animate a cloner, or really any actor, using the spline path modifier, using the procedural animators, or just using the sequencer. I hope this helps. Until next time, have fun.